Hello and welcome to Property Box News. I'm Simon Evison. Coming up, we'll have a look at the best towns in the UK to flip property. But first, a fresh study confirms that generation rent is here to stay. In a poll carried out by the Urban Collective, over 51% of those currently renting are resigned to the fact they will never own a home. According to the survey, 71% would be happy renting long term and nearly a third say they don't plan to buy ever. And in another study by the English Housing Survey, the number of privately rented households has doubled over the past 16 years, from 2 million in 2000 to 4.5 million in 2015-16. For investors, this further proves that continued investment in property is a viable and realistic business. It used to be that renting was a stopgap while saving a deposit for buying their first home, and for many it is now becoming an impossible dream. For the tenant, it can be a fairly depressing outlook, but if we make the experience as investors as good as possible, a lot can be done to improve the image of the industry. The rental sector has been lagging behind other industries when it comes to customer service, and a mind shift across the board towards servicing the tenant more than the landlord will help improve the overall image. As landlords, there are a few things that you can do to keep your tenants happy and ensure they stay with you rather than move on at the end of a tenancy. A welcome pack is a good idea. A housewarming gift and a full instruction pack will go a long way to helping the tenant settle in. Prompt maintenance and repairs is important. It speaks for itself, and when you do make quick repairs, the level of trust from the tenant is maintained also. Regular visits to the property. It's a good idea to do a 6-monthly visit, and this means you can check the tenant is looking after the property and respond to any maintenance needs promptly. Take pride in the furnishings. Eventually you'll have to replace something like a washing machine. Don't go for the cheaper option. A more expensive model may in the long run be better value, and you get what you pay for after all. Renewal incentive. Offering to keep the rent the same if they renew for another year will keep your good tenants happy, and you'll save in the long run because you'll avoid a round of new letting fees and avoid the risk of a void period. When it comes to flipping a property, an investor always wants to make a tidy profit. In a study by Countrywide using land registry statistics, it seems the latest hotspot for flips is Burnley in Lancashire, with almost 1 in 10 homes being flipped for a cash profit in the year to April. The value of homes bought and sold by investors looking for a quick profit has hit the highest level in a decade. Some 30,822 houses and flats across England and Wales worth 5.5 billion were flipped in the year to April, meaning they were bought and sold more than once over this period. Other hotspots include Hartlepool, Middlesbrough and Wakefield. This 5.5 billion was the highest figure since before the financial crisis in 2007, when 9.6 billion of homes were flipped. Flipping in London, traditionally the best place for flips, has taken a downturn largely due to the slowdown in house prices and in no small way because of stamp duty hikes. This has resulted in investors turning north and to the less trendy areas. A series of reports have pointed to house prices slowing down sharply in the capital and being outpaced by regional markets such as Leeds and Manchester. According to the Office of National Statistics, house prices in London grew 4.7% in the year to April, 6.6% in the East Midlands, 8.1% in the east of England and 6.8% in the southwest. The combination of this trend and tax increases have clearly made it harder for investors to make a profit by flipping in London. And finally, we've all heard of road rage and maybe shop rage, but landlord rage? It's a new thing apparently. In Sanford, Maine, USA, a landlord allegedly ran over a tenant for digging up plants in his yard. Previously, the local sheriff had advised the landlord to pursue a civil avenue to settle the dispute, but the landlord took matters into his own hands and decided to run his tenant over in his tractor. The tenant suffered a broken hip and the landlord was jailed, and he was later released on bail. A lesson for us all there, I think. So that's all from me this week. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.